Hello, everybody. Here is your 13.4 PowerPoint lesson. Today we're talking about pay and record withholding and payroll taxes. Employers must pay to the federal, state, and local governments all payroll taxes withheld from employees' earnings as well as the employer payroll taxes. So the employer withholds the taxes and then they have to send them to the federal government. The payment of payroll taxes to the government is referred to as a deposit, and the 12-month period that ends on June 30th of the prior year that is used to determine how frequently a business must deposit payroll taxes is called the look-back period. So some businesses need to deposit their withholdings more often than others, depends on how big the business is. So they do a look back over the last year to determine how often a business must file their deposit. So when looking at paying taxes, first they have to look at the question: are the total taxes for the prior quarter less than $2,500 and all of the current tax liabilities within a deposit period less than 100,000? If unsure, answer no. So if they answer yes to that, they have to deposit taxes by the end of the month after the end of the quarter, or mail taxes with Form 941. If the answer is no, have you accumulated a tax liability of $100,000 or more within a deposit period? If yes, then they deposit taxes by the next banking day. If you answer no to that, did you fall under the $100,000 rule at any time during this year or last year? If the answer is yes, you are a semi-weekly scheduled depositor. Deposit taxes from paydays paid on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on the following Wednesday. If they're collected on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, by the following Friday. If you answer no to that, are the total taxes for the look-back period more than $50,000? If yes, then you're a semi-weekly scheduled depositor again. If no, you are a monthly scheduled depositor. Deposit taxes for the month by the 15th of the following month. So this is what they have to look at to decide when or how often they have to pay their payroll taxes. New employers are monthly scheduled depositors for the first calendar year. So if you are a new business, you must deposit monthly for your first year. After the look-back period is established, then the business must evaluate whether a change in its deposit period is required. Federal tax deposits must be paid using electronic funds transfers. Deposits can also be made using the electronic federal tax payment system, and tax rules change periodically. So you got to pay attention, and that's why businesses should all have hired an accountant. You must have a CPA if you are running a business. Even if you've taken my class, you still need to hire a CPA. All right, so journalizing our liability for employee income tax. So we're not, so here's our transaction. So we had already done all of the payables, and now we're actually paying them. So you can see we have employee income tax payable. We have 2 deposits here, and now we're paying that. We have Social Security tax payable. We have the employee and employer's contribution and the employee and the employer's contribution. So we have to add all of those up, and then we're paying that. And then Medicare, same thing. We've got 2 transactions for each one, the employer and the employee contributions. And then we add those 4 up and we're paying that. And then when we add these 3 debits, it equals the one cash credit. So this is the way it looks in our cash payments journal. We are debiting these three payables: employee income tax payable, Social Security tax payable, and Medicare tax payable. And then we have a cash credit. Paying the liability for federal unemployment taxes. Federal unemployment taxes are paid by the end of the month following each quarter if the liability amount is more than $500. So employers have been paying federal unemployment and state unemployment taxes all along. Now, with the pandemic that we are suffering and the economic crash that we're suffering, people are applying for those unemployment benefits. So those are covered through taxes that our employers have been paying forever. So that's where we're getting the federal unemployment taxes. So many people don't realize that employers have to pay those unemployment taxes. All unemployment tax liabilities outstanding at the end of the calendar year must be paid. FUTA tax is paid to the federal government using electronic funds transfer, and the deposit for the FUTA tax is similar to the deposit required for income tax, Social Security tax, and Medicare tax. So, journalizing our federal unemployment tax liability. So, we are going to credit or debit federal unemployment tax, and then we're going to credit cash because we're paying cash. So here it is in our cash payments journal. We're debiting unemployment tax payable federal, and we are crediting cash. And then state unemployment looks very similar. We're going to debit unemployment tax payable state, and we're going to credit cash. So here it is in our cash payments journal. You have the date, the account debited, the check number, the debit amount, and the credit amount. And that's it for the 13.4 PowerPoint. After you've watched this, please watch 13.4 work together and do that, and then do the 13.4 on your own. And if I can find how to turn off this thing. Where did it go? Sorry guys, this video is longer than it needs to be.